This month, researchers reported a rise in short-sightedness, also known as myopia, among kids, and linked the findings at the time to these children spending their time indoors, looking at screens during the pandemic, iPads, smartphones, computers, TVs, all of it. They're all factors here. So now, with more schools across Northeast Florida turning to virtual learning, local eye doctors are urging parents to be on the lookout for signs of short-sightedness and the ways to prevent it. Joining us this morning to talk more about this, how problematic it can be for your child as well, Dr. Gulani with Gulani Vision Institute. Good to see you, Doc.
Good morning, Vic. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So first of all, let's talk about short-sightedness, because there's a lot of different conditions that can affect our eyes, and this is one of the more common ones.
Absolutely. So short-sightedness or nearsightedness, or what we call it, the eye community, myopia, is when people can see things up close clearly, but the distance is very blurry. And first and foremost, this can be corrected. Let's start with that. I recently spoke at the National Conference for Eye Surgeons, and I'm actually scheduled to speak next month in the international conference in the Asia Pacific region, which is extremely hard hit by this increased myopic incidence. Just for the numbers, 1.37 billion students, which represent 80% of the student population of the world in over 130 countries, are impacted by this increase in incidence, which means it is predicted that our rate of myopia, or what we call the prevalence of nearsightedness, will increase from 20% to 50% of the population by the year 2050 if we don't do anything about it.
So what do we do? What do we do, Dr. Gulani? How do we fix this before they have to go and see an eye surgeon or someone like you?
Surely. So again, let's say this quickly and importantly, that having nearsightedness is not the end of the world. There are techniques I have pioneered, like no-cut LASIK technique or laser plastic, which can fix all levels of nearsightedness. The importance of today's discussion is how to prevent this increased incidence. So understanding first why it has increased. The amount of indoor activities due to state mandates, and which are important, by the way, for protection, have made people go more onto screens, more near work, less outdoor activity, and that has increased the prevalence of myopia. Now, to prevent it, obviously, we do the opposite. You control your time on the screen, you take breaks in between, even do fun things at home like exercise or help in cooking, but divert yourself from the screen. Parents, very important. You are also working from home, and you might be setting a bad example for the kids, so everybody needs to be aware. Go outside in the sunlight. Wherever it's safe, again, follow your state mandate feet for protection from COVID precautions, but do spend time outside. My own feeling, research over the years, violet light is a very important part of our sunlight, which is actually supposed to stop myopia. So that's very important to be outdoors at these times. So very, very important is hygiene of what we do, what I call screen hygiene. Decrease your time on screens, decrease the near work, or take frequent breaks in between. Do fun stuff at home, outside, engage your brain, engage your vision to at least look outside once in a while. And wherever it's safe, go outside and play and get exposed to sunlight.
Yeah, and that can be a hard thing for both the children who are doing virtual learning as well as so many adults who are at home and they're in front of their computer 8, 10, sometimes 12 hours a day trying to get all their tasks done. So it's just about taking that break, right? I mean, the screens on the surface aren't that bad as long as you switch up your gaze. Is that what you're saying here?
Not only that, Vic, actually studies have shown that the blue light of the screen even disturbs other things besides myopia. If you do it close to your bedtime, your sleep gets affected. So there are so many impacts to this new life that we all are leading. Even as surgeons and doctors today, we are facing screens such a long time all over the day, right? So it's important to develop this new system of hygiene for this new system of working, or the new norm that's going to be the future. People are going to be used to working on screens and meeting each other and having social events. So we need to be prepared. And childhood is a great time to develop those habits, if you may. And as parents, I myself am a parent. How do we set those examples? By ourselves being the example of taking breaks, not continuously staring at our screen. And one more thing, Vic, if you realize in these cases is we lose track of time. Right? When you're on the screen, you lose track of time. So you can go for longer durations without realizing the damage you're doing to your eyes. So all these, I bring it down to basic screen hygiene in my classification system that I showed you, how it can directly and indirectly impact the vision. And not only the light, but the indirect impact of staring and doing near work, which has increased nearsightedness to this epic proportions, which can be prevented. And if you do have it, like I said, don't worry. Get yourself checked with your local eye doctor. If you have your kids complaining in school that they can't see the backboard, take this into consideration. See your local eye doctor, get it checked. And again, I repeat, if they do have nearsightedness, as long as they are stable and over 19 years of age, it can be fixed with technique.
All right.
Laser plastic. So don't worry.
Dr. Arun Gulani with the Gulani Vision Institute, thank you for your time this morning. Thanks for your expertise. Give your staff and your wife my best.
Thank you so much.